What's That Step? A series here on my YouTube channel where we pick a single step in line dance and break it down completely without the stress or worry about learning an entire dance while you're just trying to figure out what is that step. Today we're going to talk about jazz boxes. Jazz boxes are a series of steps that are typically counted in fours. It can travel to the left or the right, and it can turn. Usually it is a quarter or a half. We're going to break down what a jazz box is and the basic steps to do it, traveling both to the left and the right. We're then going to talk about some variations in endings and counts that you may see in some dances. And then we're going to talk about how do you make them turn. How do you make them turn a quarter and how do you make them turn a half? So I'm going to turn around and break down the basic steps of what a jazz box is. We're going to start with one that is going to travel over to the left, so your weight's going to be on your left foot. You want to think that there is a box of 4 squares in around you. You're standing in the first square. We're going to take our right foot, we're going to cross it over our left, stepping into that side square. And as you step with this right foot, you want to release your weight from your left foot and put it all the way onto your right. You're now going to step your left foot directly back behind your right, taking weight all the way onto that left foot and releasing your weight from your right. You're now going to step your right foot to the right side, keeping your weight onto that right foot, and your left foot is now free to step forward. That is the basic jazz box where you complete a full square on the floor. The steps are going to be exactly the same if we're traveling to the right. So weight is on your right foot. You're going to cross your left over your right, taking weight all the way onto that left foot. Step back directly with your right behind your left foot. Step your left foot to the left side and then step your right foot forward. So no matter if you're traveling to the left or the right, those steps are going to be the same. Now, the endings that you may see in jazz boxes. Sometimes you will do that regular jazz box that we did with your slight step forward. Sometimes your final step could cross over, where you take your left foot and you put it over your right. That is a way that it also could end. Sometimes it will be a step together, so you'll step your left foot next to your right, taking weight all the way onto your left foot. Sometimes it could be a touch. Any variation of a hitch or a hook or anything like that could also come at the end of a jazz box, but typically you will see it as a step forward, a step together, a crossover, or a side touch, which is where you're touching it right here next to your other foot. Those are usually the endings that you are going to see. Now, in most beginner dances, you're going to see those, and the jazz boxes themselves will mostly be full count. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4. As you start getting into some of the higher level dances, you'll see more syncopated jazz boxes where the step count may change, and it could be 1, 2, and 3. And you add a little bit of a quick step on one of your steps instead of doing it all full count. So let's do the basic jazz box with your 4 count, full count through. Weight would be on your left, you're crossing over with your right. It would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Same thing if we travel to the right, you would cross over 1, 2, 3, 4. And that will stay the same no matter if you're touching, if you're stepping, or you're crossing over. A basic jazz box will have that same count no matter what your ending is. Now, as you get farther up, you may see jazz boxes that go 1, 2, and 3 and have that third step be a little bit quicker. You may also see it go 1 and 2, 3, and have that syncopated step be in different parts of a jazz box. You'll see those more in the improver and intermediate dances than you would in the beginner. So now let's talk about how do you make jazz boxes turn. On step sheets, you will see some say that you make your quarter turn on your second step. Some of them you will see that they put it on the third step. What you're actually going to do is turn between your second and third step. So you're going to use both steps to gradually make that quarter turn. So if we were traveling with our right foot, we would turn over our right shoulder. So you're going to cross your right over your left. Now you're going to start your turn over your right shoulder. As you step back with your left foot, you're going to slightly open your body to the right. You're now almost into the corner. You're going to finish your turn by stepping forward with your right foot to square up to the wall, and then step your left foot either together or forward, or you may see it over. Those are all variations that usually happen with a jazz box quarter turn. Sometimes you will see a jazz box quarter turn as they go cross, back, side, cross. Usually you'll see it as a more side step if you are crossing over. If your jazz box doesn't have a cross, it's going to most likely be that step forward. These are kind of the slight variations that you may see in different dances when you are making them turn. So let's try that turn, traveling both to the right and the left. So weight is on your left, you're going to cross over with your right. So it's cross, step back, and start your turn, finish your turn, and then step together or slightly forward. The same thing would happen if we were traveling to the left. So you would cross your left over your right. You would start your turn over your left shoulder, stepping back with your right foot. You would finish your turn, stepping your left foot either to the side or slightly forward, and then step with your right foot. And you would turn both ways doing that same step. Now, if you do turn and you decide to just turn on that third step, that's okay as well. But if you want to make your jazz boxes feel a little more fluid, you will have your turn happen on count 2 and 3 and make that a more gradual quarter turn. That is what you'll see many experienced dancers start doing naturally. So it's a good way to practice while you're learning steps. Now, jazz boxes can also turn a half. They don't happen as frequently in beginner level dances. You will see them more in the higher level dances, but some beginner dances do have them. If we are turning a half, means you're making 2 quarter turns. So weights on your left foot. We're going to start with our crossover with the right. You're going to make a quarter turn over your right shoulder, stepping back with your left foot. You'll make a quarter turn over your right shoulder, stepping forward with your right foot to face the wall that your back was facing, and then step your left next to your right, and you just did that half turning jazz box. So let's try that one more time. Weights on your left, you're crossing over, so it's over, quarter back, quarter forward, and then step together or step slightly forward. And that will be how you do that half turning jazz box. The same thing can happen if you are doing it with your left traveling to the right. So you would cross your left over your right. You would make that quarter turn over your left shoulder, stepping back with your right foot. You're now facing 9 o'clock. Make that quarter turn over your left shoulder, stepping forward with your left foot, and then step your right next to your left. Either way you turn, that footwork is going to be the same. You're just stepping and turning in different directions. What's going to be helpful when you're doing these turns is if you look in the direction that you're turning. So when we are turning to the left, I'm going to look over my left shoulder, put my chin towards my left shoulder so that I naturally am going to keep turning to the left. When I'm doing it traveling to the right, I'm going to put my chin to my shoulder and I will cross, turn, 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 and that's going to help you naturally turn to the direction that you want to. So now that you've learned how to do the basic jazz boxes and all the variations that you may see in line dances, you can go pick a line dance that has jazz boxes in it and go practice as much as you would like. I hope this helped you learn how to do a jazz box. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks, guys.